mother vanished on New Year's Day, leaving 3 children behind. Her husband's story didn't add up, and investigators soon uncovered chilling evidence. Digital footprints revealed secrets he wished would stay hidden. Subscribe now to uncover the full shocking true crime story of Ana Walshe. Ana Walshe was a devoted mother of 3 and a successful professional whose life appeared balanced between career ambition and family. She was known as driven, organized, and highly capable. Working in the real estate and international property sector, Ana often traveled for work, managing responsibilities that required independence, discipline, and confidence. Friends and colleagues described Ana as caring and deeply committed to her children. Despite the demands of her career, motherhood remained central to her identity. She was actively involved in her children's lives and focused on building a stable future for them. To those around her, Ana was reliable, thoughtful, and goal-oriented. Ana's marriage to Brian Walshe, however, was not without challenges. While the family appeared outwardly stable, there were underlying stresses, including financial pressure and Brian's legal issues from past fraud convictions. Still, Ana continued to support her household and maintain her professional responsibilities. On New Year's Day, 2023, Ana Walshe was reported missing. What began as a missing persons case soon evolved into a complex and disturbing investigation. At the heart of it all was Ana, a woman, a mother, and a professional whose sudden disappearance left unanswered questions and a family forever changed. Brian Walshe is the husband of missing woman Ana Walshe and the central figure in the investigation surrounding her disappearance. Prior to this case, Brian was already known to law enforcement due to a history of criminal activity. He had previously been convicted of fraud involving the sale of fake artwork, a case that raised serious questions about his credibility and character. At the time of Ana's disappearance, Brian was reportedly under house arrest and wearing an ankle monitor related to his earlier conviction. This restriction limited his movements and became a key focus for investigators as they examined his timeline and statements. Friends and observers described Brian as unreliable and prone to dishonesty. His behavior following Ana's disappearance, including delayed reporting and inconsistent statements, immediately raised red flags for police. As the investigation unfolded, Brian's past actions and current conduct placed him at the center of suspicion, ultimately shaping the direction of the case and public perception. Ana Walshe was last seen in the early hours of January 1, 2023, at the family's home in Cohasset, Massachusetts. According to her husband, Brian Walshe, Ana left the house before dawn to catch a flight to Washington, D.C., where she was scheduled to work. However, there was no confirmed evidence that she ever boarded a plane. Days passed without anyone hearing from Ana. She missed work obligations, stopped responding to messages, and failed to contact friends or family, behavior that was highly unusual for her. Despite this, Brian did not immediately report her missing. The delay raised early concerns among investigators. On January 4, Ana's employer contacted police to request a welfare check after she failed to show up for work and could not be reached. Only then did law enforcement begin formally searching for her. As police examined Brian's account, inconsistencies began to appear. Surveillance footage did not support his version of events, and records showed no evidence of Ana traveling that day. What initially appeared to be a simple missing person case quickly took a darker turn, shifting focus toward the last person known to have seen her, her husband. As investigators examined Ana Walshe's disappearance, several red flags quickly emerged. The most concerning was Brian Walshe's delay in reporting his wife missing. For days, Ana had no contact with family, friends, or co-workers, yet Brian did not alert police until her employer intervened. Brian's statements about Ana's travel plans also raised suspicion that he claimed she left early on New Year's Day to catch a flight, but authorities found no evidence of her boarding a plane. Surveillance footage failed to support his version of events, further undermining his credibility. Additional inconsistencies appeared in Brian's timeline and movements, especially given that he was under house arrest and monitored by an ankle bracelet. Investigators questioned how his actions aligned with his restrictions. Combined with his prior fraud conviction and history of dishonesty, these contradictions shifted the focus of the investigation squarely onto Brian. What initially seemed like concern for a missing spouse began to look increasingly deceptive. Once Ana Walshe was officially reported missing, law enforcement launched an intensive investigation that quickly uncovered troubling evidence. Police began by searching the family's home in Cohasset, Massachusetts, where they identified signs of possible foul play. Investigators noted damaged items, suspicious stains, and evidence suggesting a violent struggle may have taken place inside the residence. As the search expanded, police reviewed surveillance footage from nearby areas. Video showed Brian Walshe making multiple trips to dumpsters in surrounding towns, disposing of trash bags in the days following Ana's disappearance. These actions raised serious concerns, especially given the timing and Brian's claim that he was unaware anything was wrong. Digital evidence soon became one of the most damaging elements of the case. Investigators discovered that Brian had allegedly conducted a series of disturbing internet searches after Ana was last seen. These searches reportedly included questions about how to dispose of a body, how long it takes for a body to decompose, and how to clean blood or DNA from surfaces. Prosecutors later described this digital trail as chilling and highly incriminating. Police also examined phone records, location data, and Brian's ankle monitor information to reconstruct his movements. This data contradicted parts of his statements and placed him in locations connected to evidence disposal. Meanwhile, despite extensive searches, no confirmed sightings of Ana were found after January 1. As physical, digital, and circumstantial evidence continued to align, the investigation shifted decisively from a missing person case to a homicide investigation. Digital footprints, intended or not, told a story that words could not, placing Brian Walshe at the center of a rapidly unfolding criminal case. As evidence mounted, investigators moved quickly to hold Brian Walshe accountable. On January 8, 2023, he was first arrested and charged with misleading police during the investigation into Ana Walshe's disappearance. Authorities stated that Brian had provided false information and obstructed efforts to locate his missing wife. As forensic analysis and digital evidence continued to develop, prosecutors presented their findings to a grand jury. On January 18, 2023, Brian Walshe was formally charged with murder, along with charges related to the improper transportation and concealment of a body. These charges marked a significant escalation, confirming that investigators believed Ana Walshe was no longer alive, despite her body never being recovered. During court proceedings, prosecutors outlined a case built on circumstantial, digital, and physical evidence, emphasizing Brian's internet search history, surveillance footage, and inconsistent statements. Brian pleaded not guilty to the charges. Following his arrest, Brian was ordered held without bail, and his 3 children were placed into protective custody. The case drew widespread media attention, with prosecutors stating they were confident the evidence would ultimately prove their case in court. Even without the recovery of Ana's remains, the case against Brian Walshe is built on a combination of physical, digital, and circumstantial evidence that prosecutors argue forms a clear and compelling narrative. Inside the family home, investigators reportedly found signs of a violent struggle, including damaged items and blood evidence. Some of these blood samples were later identified as belonging to Ana Walshe, strengthening the theory that she was killed inside the residence. Surveillance footage became another critical piece of evidence. Video recordings allegedly showed Brian traveling to multiple dumpsters in nearby towns in the days following Ana's disappearance, discarding trash bags late at night. Authorities believe these trips were made to dispose of evidence. Digital data further intensified suspicion. Prosecutors revealed that Brian conducted multiple internet searches related to body disposal, decomposition timelines, and cleaning blood and DNA. These searches were made shortly after Ana was last seen and are described as some of the most damning evidence in the case. Additionally, location data from Brian's ankle monitor and phone records contradicted his statements and placed him in areas linked to evidence disposal. Combined with his delayed missing person report and history of deception, prosecutors argue the evidence overwhelmingly points to Brian Walshe's responsibility for Ana's death. Ana and Brian Walshe's 3 children were immediately placed into protective custody following Brian's arrest. Authorities worked to ensure their safety and emotional well-being while the investigation unfolded. The sudden loss of their mother, coupled with the ongoing legal proceedings against their father, left the children in a vulnerable and traumatic situation. Social services coordinated with family members and child welfare agencies to provide support, counseling, and stability. The case highlights the devastating impact domestic violence and familial crime can have on children, underscoring the need for timely intervention and comprehensive care in such tragic circumstances. In the days that followed, the prosecution focused on digital evidence, surveillance footage, and physical findings. They showed the jury troubling online searches Brian made about disposing of bodies and cleaning up blood, along with footage of him discarding trash bags in multiple dumpsters, actions investigators believed were tied to his wife's disappearance. On December 15, 2025, after deliberating for several hours, a Norfolk County jury found Brian guilty of first-degree murder in Ana's death. Despite her body never being recovered, jurors concluded that the evidence proved he killed and dismembered her. Brian's sentencing took place on December 18, 2025, when a judge sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole, the mandatory punishment for first-degree murder in Massachusetts. He also received additional consecutive prison terms, up to 20 years for lying to police and 2 to 3 years for improper disposal of a body. The trial highlighted how far digital footprints and circumstantial evidence can carry a case, even in the absence of a body. Even after Brian Walshe's conviction and sentencing, several questions remain. Ana Walshe's body has never been recovered, leaving her final resting place unknown. Investigators and the family continue to search for answers, hoping to bring closure to her children and loved ones. The full details of what transpired inside the family home before her disappearance also remain partly unclear. Additionally, the motivations behind certain digital searches and actions taken by Brian raise ongoing curiosity about his mindset during the crime. This case matters because it highlights the deadly consequences of domestic abuse, deception, and unchecked behavior. It demonstrates how digital evidence, internet searches, phone records, and surveillance footage can play a pivotal role in modern criminal investigations. The tragedy underscores the importance of paying attention to warning signs in relationships, particularly those involving manipulation, control, or prior criminal behavior. Beyond the courtroom, it reminds society of the emotional toll on families, especially children, left in the aftermath of such crimes. Awareness, early intervention, and support systems are crucial to prevent similar tragedies, making this case both a cautionary tale and a call for vigilance. The tragic story of Ana Walshe and the conviction of Brian Walshe is a chilling reminder of how domestic violence, deceit, and obsession can escalate into irreversible tragedy. It underscores the importance of recognizing warning signs, valuing digital evidence, and prioritizing the safety of loved ones. Ana's children and family continue to cope with the loss and unanswered questions. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe to support true crime awareness. Speak up if you see abuse, and help protect those who may be at risk. Awareness can save lives.